We are now less than 90 days away from the 2020 presidential election, so thankfully there will be something else to talk about other than the coronavirus and Black Lives Matter. And lucky for us, Joe Biden is readily available to provide some comic relief in these stressful times. He finally did an interview and was surprisingly asked if he had taken a cognitive ability test, since, well, it's on everybody's mind. But he's not concerned at all.
Have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man.
President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters.
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man.
Come on, man. Sorry, Joe, but we don't know what the hell you're talking about. But please continue to demonstrate why everybody is wondering.
The way China will respond is when we gather the rest of the world that, in fact, believes in open trade and making sure that we're in a position that the world that we deal with WHO the right way. That in fact. That's when things begin to change. That's when China's behavior is going to change.
Well, why don't you explain your healthcare plan instead? After all, you were instrumental in helping get Obamacare passed, and this is your area of expertise.
We should be making it easier, not harder, to make sure make sense to, let me put it another way. It makes no sense.
You don't make any sense, Joe. Come on, man. What are you doing? And this is why a growing number of Democrats are advising Joe Biden not to debate President Trump.
For weeks, some political experts have been raising the question, would Biden be better off skipping the debates? Former Clinton White House Press Secretary Joe Lockhart wrote an op-ed for CNN.com titled, "Joe Biden Could Still Lose This Election." And as I read it, I was struck by this provocative paragraph, quote, "Whatever you do, don't debate Trump. It's a fool's errand to enter the ring with someone who can't follow the rules or the truth. Biden will undoubtedly take heat from Republicans and the media for skipping the debates, but it's worth the risk, as trying to debate someone incapable of telling the truth is an impossible contest to win."
Newsweek magazine reports supporters urge Joe Biden not to debate Trump and cite concerns over the coronavirus. Numerous columnists at the New York Times are calling for the debates to be canceled. Let's scrap the presidential debates, says this journalist. But little Brian Stelter took to Twitter and claimed that it was a Fox News fantasy and that they were imagining Democrats were saying such things. He then made headlines for being ridiculed, as usual, because, as you just saw, that idea came from op-eds published by CNN and the New York Times. Oh, and the Boston Herald is suggesting it as well, and others. And speaking of morons, legislators in Illinois are calling on schools to ban history class. Why, you ask? Because American history books talk too much about white people. Gee, I wonder why that could be. And no, this is not a parody, even though it is being reported on CNN.com. It's a real story. I understand why you might think that this is the Babylon Bee or the Onion, especially after reading the caption on the photo of the press conference, which literally reads, "Illinois State Rep LaShawn Ford joined community leaders to call for the abolishment of history classes in schools."
I'm calling for the abolishment of history classes in Illinois. We're concerned that current school history teachings lead to white privilege. I'm calling on the State Board of Education to end the teaching of history and the local school districts to take immediate action by removing the current history books and curriculum practices that unfairly communicate our history.
I guarantee you nobody had canceling history class on their 2020 bingo card. This is the Babylon Bee, however, with another hilarious story. In a major deal, the Babylon Bee has purchased competing satire website CNN. We've been admiring CNN's ability to parody leftist media organizations so effortlessly, and we're thrilled to have them under the Babylon Bee's umbrella, said the CEO, Seth Dillon. And it's fact-checking like this that's giving the Babylon Bee a run for their money in the parody news business. CNN has discovered that a Trump campaign ad has edited out a microphone and trees to make Joe seem like he's alone in a basement. Look at old Joe with his fancy lights in his basement studio, putting my kitchen and my laptop to shame. But I definitely have better merch, and I'm not charging $30 for a t-shirt either. Look at this beauty you can get and also contribute to the Joe Biden Victory Fund. Or you could go to markdice.com and get an I Love Global Warming shirt, a Celebrities Know What's Best shirt, the classic Liberalism Find a Cure shirt, or any of my awesome designs. All available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. And you can even get a Liberalism Find a Cure face mask. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.